So there are going to be a series of videos, two videos that I would like you guys to watch that are not of me, that relate to naming and identifying ionic compounds. So a little bit of a review, an ionic compound is between a metal and a non-metal. Always, no exception, okay? So you'll have a metal, something on the left-hand side of your periodic table, and it's going to react with a non-metal. A common example, or one that we're going to use, is sodium. Sodium is a metal, Na. It's on the left-hand side of your periodic table. It's an alkali metal. And we're going to use chlorine. Chlorine is a non-metal. It's a gas. It's a halogen. Okay? The ion charges of both these elements are important, especially later on when we get into writing formulas. So again, the ion charge is that charge, if it's positive or negative, that's on your periodic table. It's always going to be given to you, and it's typically on the right-hand side of your tile. So for sodium, it's +1, and for chlorine, it's -1. So what this means is sodium wants to give an electron and become more positive, and chlorine wants to gain that electron and become more negative. Okay? So when we're naming these ionic compounds, what you'll get is a formula. Okay? So the formula is when we use the symbols. And so what the symbols would look like this. This is sodium chloride. But so how do you name this? How do you get sodium chloride? Well, you're going to look and make sure that you have an ionic compound first. So you're going to look at the first element. Okay? The first element, you need to identify it as a metal. And it is, if we look at our periodic table. Sodium, right here, it's in group number 1, period number 3. It is a metal. Chlorine, over here in the halogens, it's in group or family number 17. It is a nonmetal. So we can go about this naming system. So the naming system in your notes, what it says is write the name of the metal, the first element. So we're going to find the symbol, and we're going to find that it's sodium. So we're going to write out sodium, just like we see it on our periodic table, just like we know it. Okay? Then we're going to look and we're going to find the non-metal. We're going to look for the name of this symbol, Cl. And we are going to find that it's chlorine. So the first step I want you to do is write the metal, and then you're going to write the non-metal as you see it on your periodic table. So we're going to write chlorine. Okay? So now the name of this formula is sodium chlorine. But that doesn't sound right. So the next rule for naming ionic compounds is that you actually change the ending of your nonmetal. You are going to change the ending INE to IDE. Ide. Okay? You leave the first element as you found it, sodium, and you're going to change the ending of your nonmetal, the second element, to IDE. So the name that you're going to be left with is sodium chloride, not chlorine. So it'll look like this. Sodium chloride. Okay? I'm going to do one more. Let's look at our periodic table. Let's do this one. Okay? So, The numbers, the subscripts, don't matter when we're looking at ionic compounds. It's kind of the nice, easy aspect of ionic compounds. So we're going to find the name of the first element here, Li. And we're going to name it as we would find it on our periodic table. The periodic table I have on my screen doesn't have the names, but I know the names. The one that's attached on Google Classroom, you have this one as well as two others, will have the names. So I'm going to find Li. It is a metal. It's in family number 1. And it's lithium. So I'm going to write out lithium. I'm not going to change anything about it. Then I'm going to find the name of the second element, O. O is a nonmetal in group family number 16, and it's oxygen. So I'm going to write oxygen. Lithium, oxygen doesn't really sound right. So the third rule to naming ionic compounds is that you change the ending to IDE. Okay? So what you're going to be left with as the name for this formula is lithium oxide. Okay? One more, maybe? Let's do this guy. So we're going to find the name of the metal here, the first element, Mg. So Mg is in group and family number 2. It's an alkaline earth metal. It's magnesium. So I'm going to name this magnesium. Okay. Then I'm going to look for the name of the nonmetal, S, over here. S is in group or family number 16, right here. It's sulfur. So I'm going to put sulfur. Okay. Now the third rule is that I change the ending to my nonmetal to IDE. So it goes from sulfur to sulfide. So the full name will be magnesium, that's my metal, sulfide. Okay? And so that's how you name ionic compounds. Again, there are going to be 2 other videos that I would like you guys to watch about naming ionic compounds. And then next week we'll look at naming molecular compounds. And then we're going to look at writing formulas. Okay? Hope you guys have a great week. Chat soon. Bye.